Hello friends, today we'll talk about the 2018 thriller, The Hippopotamus. In the opening scene, we see a young woman regain consciousness in a basement. She doesn't remember who she is or how she got there. Moreover, her legs and head are injured. A stranger who introduces himself as Thomas tells her that her name is Ruby. She is 25 years old, an only child, studied law, and is afraid of the dark. The man confesses that he is holding her captive and will not let her go until she loves him. He explains that he will feed her 3 times a day, provide painkillers and other medication, and help her with personal care. The basement lights turn on at 7 a.m. and off at 11 p.m. Ruby doesn't understand what's happening. She notices a bracelet with her name on her wrist, but she can't remember anything. She refuses to take the pills, but Thomas insists they are necessary. He left her bag untouched. It was placed on a chair in the basement. When Ruby was left alone, she managed to crawl to it. Inside, she found various items, including a driver's license and a tennis ball. However, upon hearing footsteps, she quickly returned to her spot, hiding the ball in her pocket so Thomas wouldn't suspect anything. The man strictly ordered her not to move, warning that it could worsen her condition. Ruby kept asking why he was doing this, but Thomas only repeated that she had to love him. Once alone again, she reopened her bag and carefully examined her driver's license, comparing the photo to her reflection in the mirror. But Thomas was watching her. When she broke the mirror, she hid a sharp shard in her bandages. Day after day, Thomas maintained order in the basement, reminding her that escape was impossible. One day, Ruby asked, "What if I never love you? Feelings can't be forced." She tried to speak calmly, even in a friendly manner, so as not to arouse suspicion. She received no answer, but Thomas agreed to bring her whatever she wanted. She asked for a blanket, a pillow, and a book. When Ruby received the book, she realized she had read it before. Thomas said it was her favorite novel, and that he had prepared everything carefully. He even brought her red tea, the exact drink she loved. Memories started returning to Ruby. Objects triggered associations, and eventually she found a coded message inside the book. "Don't trust him." That's when she realized she wasn't the first person to be trapped there. During dinner, she directly asked Thomas if there had been others before her. He replied that she was the only one. However, the next clue led her to a secret hiding place in the wall. There she found a large number of used matches, which had been used to write messages. During her next dinner with Thomas, Ruby apologized for her behavior and asked him to light a candle to create a romantic atmosphere. While Thomas was distracted, Ruby began telling him about a strange dream that had been haunting her every night. She was sinking deep underwater, but at the last moment, someone saved her. While Thomas was listening attentively, Ruby discreetly took a match. Left alone, she removed the bandages from her legs and discovered that she had no injuries. In secret, she began taking her first steps, regaining her strength. At one point, a vision flashed before her eyes. A man in a white coat injecting her with some kind of drug. Was this a memory or just her imagination? At night, Ruby continued deciphering hidden clues and training her body, but she pretended to be weak to avoid suspicion. Someone had left her a message advising her to act powerless. One evening, Thomas prepared a special dinner for her. As she tasted the dish, a memory surfaced. She was sitting in a restaurant with a man, enjoying the same meal. Thomas admitted that it was him, and that they had been happy together. But Ruby wasn't sure if this was a real memory, or if it was actually Thomas sitting across from her in the past. One day, she managed to peek through a narrow window near the ceiling and saw that they were truly far from civilization, surrounded only by water. Day by day, Ruby read, painted, and talked to Thomas. One night, when Thomas fell asleep beside her, she attempted to escape but didn't have enough time. He woke up. She explained that she was just curious about what was behind the door. To show his trust, Thomas gave her control over the lights and music. That evening, he invited her to a slow dance. Ruby recalled dancing with a man before, confessing their love to each other, but she had a boyfriend. What was real and what was a lie? To lower Thomas's guard, Ruby decided to dance for him. But as things became more intimate, a wave of new memories hit her. That night, Ruby had been at a bar with a friend. He asked her why they hadn't been intimate in a long time, but she avoided answering. As they walked home after drinking, she ignored Thomas's calls. Her friend refused to accept rejection and used force. At that moment, Thomas arrived at her house, having been given a ride by his friend. He witnessed the horrifying scene. In a fit of rage, he took justice into his own hands. But then he realized that because of the trauma, Ruby had lost her memory. So he took her with him. Convincing his friend not to call the police, he drove Ruby far north. She remained semi-conscious, and Thomas decided he would either restore her memories or create new ones. He stole a boat, took her to an island, and settled in an abandoned farmhouse. Thomas noticed that every time Ruby slept for too long, her memory reset again. So he devised a method to make her remember. He even pretended to be a doctor, turning the basement into a hospital-like setting. Now he played the role of a kidnapper, making her believe she was injured. And it worked. Ruby remembered everything. Now it was just the two of them. Passion brought them together, and they seemed happy. But while Thomas slept, Ruby retrieved the sharp piece of mirror. At that moment, a signal sounded from his wristwatch. This was her chance. Ruby struck him multiple times, ran out of the basement, and rushed toward the river. But exhaustion took over. She collapsed. Once again, she dreamed of sinking into the water. Final scene. Ruby wakes up in the same basement, but now it looks like a hospital room. Thomas stands before her in a doctor's uniform. He smiles. The operation was successful, but unfortunately, Ruby had another memory lapse. Before leaving the room, Thomas calmly said, "I'll inform your boyfriend that you've regained consciousness. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new exciting content." The creators would also love to hear your thoughts in the comments.